Haste in your madness. And all and everything. The great equalizer. I don't need to tell you what this is about. This scripture of life is just death. It's pretty simple. I'm not apprehended by your equation of thought. This is Pink Cloud Radio. I can tell that a lot of people, as I said the other times that I've been speaking, people love talking about people's feelings. You know how people say, oh, I don't trust your feelings. It's mostly because they've already set a belief of what they feel about your feelings. You know, telling people your feelings is never trusted, as much as what they feel, that what you feel about them. Well, I don't believe your feelings are true for me, but this is what I believe of your feelings. Well, hold it there. Now you're just telling me, I think this way about your feelings. You want to tell me differently? I'm not going to believe it. That's basically what a person is saying to you when they're saying that. You tell me something else, I'll never believe it. Because I already thought of it. I already thought about it. This is what I think about your feelings. This is what I think about your feelings? You just now lost a person in general. Because, I mean, it's better. It's probably better for them. And it's probably better for you. It's never good to get into those relationships if you're not allowed to look past that kind of stuff. And I mean that in the most general and constructive terms. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with somebody if they felt like, oh, this person doesn't understand how he feels, you know? Because a lot of people think they could understand the unconscious and the conscious mind and tell you what people are thinking consciously and unconsciously. Even my grandma can't. Listen to Last Reasoning, which is about my grandma, telling me, Marcello, I'm trying to pick someone for you like me. Well, I don't want somebody like her. And it's pretty simple. I'm just going to tell you this really quickly. If you listen back to the other one, but listen to this. Why would I get with somebody that says what I say is meaningless? I'm not trying to be controlling or controlled. But if somebody says, let's say I only can have those kind of relationships, like somebody who controls me, stuff like that. Why would I want to be with somebody that thinks of what I say as meaningless? In general. I'm not talking about what I'm going to tell her as orders and tell her only what to do. No. But why would I want to be with somebody that says what I tell her about my feelings toward her is meaningless? Well, that's a wonderful relationship, isn't it? This is the Last Reasoning. It's gone past that already. But it's the same thing here. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. About people telling you what your feelings are. Their belief of what your feelings are. Well, I mean, that kind of already says it all. You've just now lost another friendship. Because, I mean, I don't know why you're even talking to that person anymore. If they're trying to tell you something differently, you pretty much should see it as, well, this guy's trying to lie to me. But it's that, you know, I can feel that inside a person already. That they're like, oh, a little uncomfortable on edge, you know, in the stomach area. Kind of have that, you know, edgy stomach. But they still sick with it. Like, oh, they're just lying right here. You know, it's almost like, you know, getting that foot in the door. Trying to say, I want you to listen to me so much. Even though I'm going to be uncomfortable with doing this, I still want to go all the way with it. It's almost like sometimes a lot of people overreach trying to be controlling. Meaning that their feelings altogether change and warp because they can't do anything else. They've already gone this far, so why not go further? Some people don't try to step back and say, maybe I did wrong here. You know, people always go further with things because they think the other person won't forgive them. Like they always judge them or something. I'm the last person to judge anybody. But if nobody tries to take that step backwards, if they're trying to get a better relationship with somebody, then how will you know? You know? I stand here today without any emphasis on what kind of person I am, but understanding that I won't be perfect in any way, shape, or form. You know, when I look back at, like, this thing that I just said right here, it goes back to a lot of different things, though. It doesn't just start with, you know, trusting people's feelings or believing what you want about people's feelings. It goes back into bossiness. It goes into bossiness in a friendship or a relationship. When you never gave bossiness in a friendship, but the other friend starts to. Think about that. I'm not a person who shows bossiness at all. I let people be themselves, but if once you're going to start trying to create bossiness in a relationship in any way, you're done with me. In any kind of friendship or anything. I never once show bossiness, and here you are throwing it in my face. Oh, well, you must want bossiness, you know. It's almost like, now I'm going to use this. I'm going to see how this person thinks of me now. But the thing is, why didn't you use it before then? What stopped you before from showing yourself as being bossy? What stopped you? What stopped you? You have that personality, whether or not you're showing it with that person or showing it with another person, you always have that personality. So you hiding that personality already shows, hey, it's over. You know, that characterization of yourself should be known right away. And it should always be shown. But that's what I get into, is that if I don't show a sign of bossiness and somebody else is starting to or does in a friendship or relationship, I mean, it's kind of done, you know. And that's what happened at the end of my relationship last time, recently. That it was almost like, I'm going to wait a whole month to tell you, but I'm going to tell you, oh, well, we better break up. Oh, that's wonderful. Why didn't you tell me this earlier, for one? And I want to know how you're feeling. Oh, if you don't like what I'm saying, then why don't you break up with me? Oh, I see. So I can't ask you anything else. I only have to break up. I can't talk to you about this. You know, and that's why it ended. You didn't give me an opportunity to speak with you about it. If you don't think our feelings are important enough, and I'm talking in general to anybody, even as a friend, if you don't think our importance, if you don't think our feelings are important enough to speak about, I mean, that's kind of a dead friendship right there. You know, I could care less if you're interested in one thing or another. This is the same thing I said last time I was speaking about. Whatever music you're into, whatever sex or relationships, whatever you want. If you're a prostitute, if you're not a prostitute. You know, I'm going to speak about everybody. But you got to care about feelings. If you don't, bye-bye. Because I never slam dunk anybody in any polar bear position to make them feel cold inside. Now, it doesn't mean that doesn't happen. But no matter what, if you feel like everybody can do things purposefully to you, sometimes you do it to yourself. Sometimes you hurt yourself and you try to blame it on somebody else. You try to push it on somebody else. Everything I messed up, I messed up. I take responsibility and credit for that. Because I see it as a good thing, because a lot of those friendships went bad. They were about bossiness. And I never showed bossiness. So if once you're going to try to be bossy, oh, bye-bye. You don't need me as a friend then. You could find your own group of friends that settle precariously for that kind of bossiness, and there are people like that. So don't worry. There's a lot of people who need to be led. I'm not a sheep. I don't need to be led. You know, but I want to be with somebody for my entire life. I'm not looking for a phase. I'm looking for a person that wants to be with me to old age. Which means all this bossiness crap and all this stuff about, well, I don't believe your feelings are true, but this is what I believe of your feelings. Oh, well, thank you for giving me credit for what I'm trying to speak about right to your face. I'm sorry if you're scared to listen to somebody tell you about feelings directly to you, in your face. But I'm not trying to do it purposefully to hurt you. You know, because a lot of people think that way. Like, oh, well, you know, if he has feelings for me, I got to get rid of this slowly. And I can't do it directly to him because he might get more feelings. No, I won't. Actually, if you tell me directly, you'll actually prove how important our friendship is. That's what I think personally. When somebody does something directly, in that way, responsibly, and says, you know what, I better take some responsibility here, but I see he took responsibility to tell me the way he did and what he wants to do with it, but I didn't take it seriously, so I better take it seriously now. And I better deal with it directly with him. If you don't, you're missing out. You know, the only visions I've had of any of the future or whatever is seeing that woman walk down the aisle. Whew. That's all. Beautiful image. That's the image I got in my head. And it's a beautiful one, you know. I ain't after, you know, all the poontang or anything. You know, I've seen people like that. I've experienced the idea. And it's not what I want, you know. As I said, I'm not dealing with things for a phase. I'm dealing with things to old age. Yeah, you know. Who wants to deal with an old man? But that's the whole idea, this bossiness and this great equalizer. Because it is a great equalizer. And I think that's why a lot of people use bossiness. Because it's a very big trait that people can use. You know, I could be bossy, you know, and people take credit for that a lot of times. Like, no one's going to speak to me. No one's going to speak out of form to me. No one's going to try to speak to me when I'm bossy. people will feel uncomfortable around me. I love that. A lot of people use it in that way. That's why it doesn't last sometimes, and that's why a lot of people get karma back to them, because they do it on purpose for that ego-driven pride of what they could feel when somebody feels uncomfortable around them. When people take advantage of that opportunity right there, they say, "Damn, I got this kind of control over people." And now that's all they see. They never see what they're really doing to people. They just see how they're feeling when they do it. To me, I see what I'm feeling, but I don't do it for those reasons. I do it because I'm trying to pay attention. Yes, I'm not 100% because my mind isn't 100%, and it's never going to be. My mind is never going to be 100%, but if push comes to shove, it isn't about those kind of things. But it's never going to be about how you feel about my feelings either. If you feel a certain way about my feelings and it's consistent, just like I said about, people telling you, I don't believe your feelings are true, but for me, but this is what I believe of your feelings, If somebody says that, then it's like, well, okay, that's how you feel about my feelings, but you should take what I'm taking seriously because I'm telling you. If you think I want to waste the time to tell you my feelings when I wanted to hear you say that, you got another thing coming. Because you're answering for me now. When I'm trying to tell you more and you don't want to listen because I don't know why. And this is the whole idea of like breaking down and, crying all the time, which a lot of people do, or cutting their wrists. Which is a big story nowadays. People cutting their wrists. Hating feelings. Yet we got, the so-called emos in music and everything, putting down people with emotions, right there. Right there in broad daylight, putting down people with emotions, and people turning on and off emotions. Oh, that's a great one that people do now. But that's the whole point. Why turn on and off emotions? I got the emotions of an open mind. I don't have any other credit for my list. But the only way it can work is if somebody else has emotions that don't go on and off. Just stay on. The light will always be on in mine. And it always is. But the thing is, if yours goes off and on, and mine goes off all the way. Because you now showed that you want to turn it off and on. This isn't about, oh, well, I have to be careful here. No. If you have to be careful, you'll tell me why you have to be careful. You're telling me, oh, well, this is happening right now. It looks like Danny, this, that, the other. If you can't speak to me about what's happening around you, then, you really got a long thing, you got that damn list of things happening in your life. But that's up to you, and this is the kind of stuff, I'm bringing up old conversations and stuff, but it's a new idea, new sensation, because this is a new idea that's coming out right now about the seconds that I've seen with people right now, and at work, at home, around me, whenever I go out, this isn't like, Springfield, or some other stuff like that. This is an actual experience in life. That's why I'm not telling you how to do things. I'm just telling you that a lot of people treat it that way. That, oh, but this is what I believe of your feelings. Well, then why do you want to talk to me? I've always asked that question. Like, why would you spend the time talking to me if all you want to tell me is what you believe of my feelings? You might as well be one of those people who, looks at people's clothes and say, oh, that guy can't dress himself, to somebody you don't even know. I might as well be a stranger at that point. That's why I've gotten rid of a lot of friendships, and not in a bad way, not like I wanted to. I've been crying my tears out for years, but it still doesn't change anybody's mind. They're gone. If I want somebody in my life, as a friend or anything, then they have to make that opportunity for themselves too. They have to make that option for themselves. They can't just say, well, this person doesn't like you. Who cares? At that point, you're trying to justify it to me why the friendship has to end. Who cares? You have to trust me, and you have to trust yourself. That's it. Trust yourself to be yourself, and trust me to be me. There you go. You got a good friend right there. True. And that's the whole idea of bossiness too, because a lot of people think, well, I'll just keep the two separated. That happens a lot too, where there's two guys after one girl, or two girls after one guy, or two girls after another girl, or two guys after another guy. I mean, you got the whole realm. You could go into all those categories, whichever way you want to do it, or a girl with a guy and a girl after her, or a guy with a guy and a girl after him. You know, you could have them all now, but you've always could. Literally, people just, you know. As I said, the biggest threat that I've ever seen to anybody in any sexual orientation is what I hear all the time: making something offensive that's not offensive. You know, are you gay or something? Which I spoke about the other time in my previous one about the unfulfilled and fulfilled, and controlled and controlling. But when you come down to these things, the main purpose of this whole thing is to look at it from a good perspective and just say, no, because bossiness doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good end result. You know, because maybe, you know, like to me personally, and I say this with true valor, if somebody's not being bossy from the first get-go, I mean, where else do you lead to? You know? Oh, well, you know, if I can't be bossy with this person, they're not the right one for me. Okay, but were you bossy from the beginning? Did you show yourself 100%? Or did you just, well, no, I couldn't show myself 100% because then they take advantage of it? Not really. A lot of people don't take advantage of somebody if they're honest. Actually, they literally don't, you know. I make jokes about people when they're very honest, and they say something like, for example, some friends of mine have said before in the past, what was it? If a guy gets with me, he better appreciate that I cook for him. How very giving of you. You know, that's my answer, because, wow, how very giving of you, you know. No expectations from you, I see. But that's the whole identity right there. Is that if you're trying to place a bossiness on top of something that you want to create, I mean, why create a relationship then? That's how I feel. Like, if you go into a relationship, go into it with a clear mind, with a clear heart. Don't go into it with revenge and bullying on your mind, you know? That's the same reason I never got into a relationship based on those reasons. I got into a relationship with anybody I got into a relationship with because I wanted to. Not because I wanted to make somebody else jealous or some other bullshit like that. Other people made their decisions. They have to live with the reset switch. If they want to reset something, if they want to do something, it's not up to them. I want to reset things too a lot, but I can't just do it like that. Not because, oh, I'm scared. Of course I'm scared. I've been scared. I am scared. If you haven't been scared, you haven't been in love. But that isn't the point of all this. This is a different type of scared. This is the scared that it's over. This isn't the scared of, like, I can't approach a person. It's easy to approach a person. It's easy, but the hardest thing is to let go. And it was. Damn right it was. But to be honest, you really see somebody's true character when you really let go. You see how they respond to things and what they say. And you see exactly what the fuck they were thinking in their head the whole time. And so a lot of times I think it's better because then I see people for who they are. Tell me what you really feel. If you're not going to tell me now, then why should I even be your friend? Why should I waste the time? I've tried to tell you and you didn't want to hear it. How can I tell you my feelings if you don't want to hear it? I'm not going to go, you know what? I'm going to go over and abound my conquest and fight for it. But isn't that the whole reason for us to be together, that we don't have to fight? That's what I was thinking, you know. No bossiness, going back to the feelings here. Isn't the whole reason for us to be together? For no bossiness? For no, I don't believe your feelings are true for me, but this is what I believe of your feelings? For no expectations, for no sudden conclusions. Because when you're making those sudden conclusions, when you're jumping like over every mountain or crater, I mean, at some point you have to fall into them. You know, I've fallen so many times. I'm even falling now when I run sometimes. I have. But the whole point of this isn't about, like, you know, trying to be better. It's trying to be yourself. Just be yourself. That's it. But be honest about it. You know, and if what you are as a person is the same way as that, I mean, it comes down to it like this. You know, there's a point in people's lives where they see that they have to answer for other people. But there's also a point in people's lives that they don't. that the only way they want other people to change is by, hey, I'm going to answer for you right here, right now. If you don't change right here, right now, I'm going. That's what they do. They use that intimidation. And that's the whole bossiness too. Bossiness is just another action of intimidation, really. Because, like I said, in a friendship, right there, I could go back to a couple, and I'll go back to one in particular, back in 2004, I think, or 2005 or so. Yeah, 2004, I could say. There was that bossiness from my friend Shane from high school, right there. And I only got back with him because my friends said so, and I took it seriously. I didn't just go because my friend said so. I do it because I wanted to, literally. I wanted that friendship back, but at that point on, I saw it wasn't going to last too long because there was that bossiness in him now. And I was like, I'm tired of having friends who just have bossiness inside of them. That's why I got rid of my friends in junior high at a point, because it was like, when have I treated you with bossiness? When did I give you any... if you want to point out a weakness of mine, that's fine. Joke around with it. Talk about it with me. But to forcibly try to change a person, or to be changing yourself like that, what's the point? And a lot of people don't give that answer. They just ignore it and say, no, I haven't changed. And yet they're shouting wistfully at you, and down your throat with things, shoving things down your throat about what you should believe now. That's why I did it with Shane, because I was like, you know what? I have to experience the music I listen to right now, because he didn't like, I was into Eminem at the time, listening to a lot of rap. He didn't like that. And he kept on going back to it. It's like talking to a wall. I didn't even try to talk about him that much. He brought more about it up than I did. So I thought about it, I was like, why is he bringing it up so much? And he's telling me, Marcello, stop talking about it. You're the one talking about it. You want me to stop talking about something I hardly talk about? I love talking about so many damn things. You're going to have me, spinning on the floor. But if you want to recognize only the thing that I like and try to insist upon it, it's like, when did I ever, when did I take that time to, believe it that much or talk about it that much? Never. And that's where a lot of people's bossiness comes from. If they can't use something that you're using directly on them, they'll use something that you like. Whether it's something physical or something that's, of this world, or something unearthly. They'll bring up anything. They'll throw it to the sky for that one, because if they can't take advantage of you directly in that way and try to use support systems of what you are as a person directly, then they're going to use something else. They're going to use another means. That's why, to me, when people tell me, I don't believe your feelings are true, but for me, this is what I believe of your feelings, then it's like, well, am I here? I'm still here. I'm still talking to you. So clearly you're taking it out of proportion and telling me, Marcello, this is what I think of your feelings. Well, hold it. You're telling me what my feelings are, what you believe my feelings are. You're not just telling me what you think of my feelings. You're telling me what you believe are my feelings. And the whole bossiness comes from that too. You never gave, if I never gave any bossiness, it doesn't just stop somebody from doing it to me. But the thing is, you lose my friendship there. And this isn't about talking about, oh, here's the rules. No. It's about, what do you really want? This isn't a bad thing, speaking about bossiness. Or, this is what I believe about your feelings. If you're doing that to somebody, then stop that friendship. Especially, this is what I believe of your feelings, but they're trying to tell you something differently? Are you trying to make them believe you? Use that intimidation. Or are you just trying to say, this is what I believe of your feelings and it's not going to change? Just say that. The other person will just say, you know what? I'm sorry. And I would say that. I'd say, I'm sorry. I can't hang out, because to me, I'm not trying to get you to believe me. But for you to throw that in my face constantly, it doesn't make any sense. You're telling me what you believe. That's fine. But you won't even listen to what I'm telling you I believe and I feel. If you really believe it that way, you would at least give me the opportunity to speak all my feelings to you. You wouldn't just cut me off in the middle of it. You would listen to it and say, you know what? Thank you for letting me know the truth. And that's why it ended. With many friends. And I'm not even talking about because I had feelings for them. Actually, friendships went bad, as I said. People became a wall. So, I mean, if you're going to be, if you're so insecure about the unknown, I mean, I don't know how you could live the rest of your life. You know, I mean, just look at how this is the great equalizer. You know, we're battling old age here. There's no pension, no pay. People get fired from jobs because you're too old. So we live longer so we can't pay for our lives, no pension, or work hard when we are old. But we can't work hard when we're old because we're fired when we're old. Oh, I'm sorry, you're too old. You can't work here. You're fired. We're going to lay you off. But there's no pension. There's nothing going to recognize my life. So all you people battling old age out there, why are they keeping us alive longer? So we can have no pension and then get fired from our jobs when we're 55. 56. Let me ask you something. If I mishandle things when I'm 56, I probably shouldn't have been working when I was 25. This is why the whole thing is messing up. Because people will start believing that they're right when they're wrong. I mean, that's it. This isn't about, like, you know, people not recognizing when they're doing something wrong. A lot of people have self-esteem issues to the extent where they have no self-esteem, no energy, and, you know, they don't take anything in as different as accepted. They push negative energy towards that because, oh, wait, this is something new. I'm used to getting beat up and thrown on the ground. Why are you treating me good here? Well, because I come in with acceptance, with love. You know, I'm not saying it 100% works all the time, and there's probably a lot more to my character than that. But I can definitely say that that's what I come with. You know, and I learned that from my mom. You know, I have to say that right now. I learned that from my mom. Should have feelings, sensitivities, emotions directed in one direction. You know, I've met the one-sided feelings before. I've met the, you know, girls who have stalked me and imposed their obsession on me and imposed even, you're my fate. You know, to me, fate, no thanks. Feelings, emotions, and sensitivities, damn right. In one direction, you got it. Everything else? How would I say that? Everything else. Well, everything else is a challenge. That's what people love. This person must really love me because they took that challenge to care about me when I was with somebody. They didn't just let go of me. Maybe it's not me that let go. That's what I was looking at. This whole thing isn't really about me at this point. But if you start not talking completely, I mean, you kind of lost the friendship. I'm a talker. I don't talk that much, but I love talking. I literally don't talk that much, like a lot of people think I would. You can listen to me right now and hear me talk about everything here. But to be honest, I don't talk that much. I talk and I listen. I talk and I listen more. I talk and I listen even more. But I don't change. You know, I don't want a phase. I want somebody till I'm old age. You know? I run away at phase because to me, I'm past phase. What phase? Everything I've been introduced to, I still have. Everything I've been introduced to in any way. Little snippets or great big ham sandwiches. It's all in my life. It's not going to go away. It may move around, but it's not going to go away. I can tell you right now, that's why so many people love telling you what they believe about your feelings, because they want to take that chance, that opportunity to see you run away from what you already own. But when do you? When does the person who tells you what they believe your feelings are do the same? Well, one person has to be able to move out and move away. And it's not going to be me. That's what a lot of people say. Like, it's not going to be me. Why not? Why can't it be you? You scared? Are you scared? I mean, if you're scared to move away, why should I be with you? Because even if I moved away, you would still have that fear in you. You would still have that scared with you. I'm sorry, but a guy, anybody, likes confidence. And not the kind of confidence where you're stroking your willy all the time. or, putting yourself in an orgasm all the time. This is real, common confidence. The kind of confidence you don't get just by ordering something at McDonald's. The kind of confidence you have when you don't have to look sour when you take your next step. When you're not feeling unpleasant the next day that you did something. When you're not feeling alone. When you are. Where you feel confident in the relationship you're in. Without having to be right next to them all the time. With understanding that there is a limit to that. That there are other people than that. And it's not based on not being close and cuddling and drinking and having a good time. This is really the scapegoat mode. This is the ignorance of the bliss that people have. They want to keep their bliss in their solemnitude, yet they want to start something new with a new person. Well, if you want to start something new with a new person, it's not about changing yourself, but it's about accepting the change that they're going to place on you. Because no matter what, anybody that's going to enter your life is going to change you somehow. In a good way, yes. In a bad way, yes. In every way, yes. I've done it 1,000 times. The reason why they're not here right now is because they didn't want to be. They wanted bossiness. They wanted to tell women what they believe my feelings are. They wanted to go through just a phase. They didn't want to have anything together with me. Whether it was a friendship or anything else. That's why I'm standing here talking to you alone, in my room. You think I would be? I would still be doing this. The difference is I would have people listening probably like that on YouTube. And it would be good. But it's not going to turn out like that. And that's okay. I'm not, feeling any resentment towards it. No problem here. But the thing is, they think it's a problem. Oh, this guy doesn't want to change for me. He must not love me. Oh, this guy doesn't want to control me. He must not love me. I go back into the whole thing as I spoke about the other time. But the main purpose of my intensity is that, I don't believe your feelings are true for me. But this is what I believe of your feelings. Oh, well, really? This is what you believe of my feelings. And when did I tell you what my feelings were? Before. Oh, well, you didn't. But I've experienced this before in a different way. Well, if you experienced it in a different way, how could you know what my feelings are? And there's no answer. And that's the whole bossiness too, because it's I don't want to listen. I don't want to deal with anything unknown. And that's another thing what bossiness is. Bossiness comes from that expectation too. Of the premise of well, I don't want to deal with something new, so I'm not going to deal with your character now. I can't deal with your character. I'm just going to listen to my friends who I know less, who actually hasn't spent time with you as much as I have, but I'll listen to what they have to say about you. Even though they haven't hung out with you as much as I have, I should come with my own thought on you, but I'll listen to them. They know better. They know more about me. Well, just because they know more about you doesn't mean they actually know you. Sometimes people who know the least about you know the biggest things about you. And I can honestly say, and I mean this with true heart, that I never used anybody for convenience. But that's the main hurt, is that when people don't trust it. And that's where it comes from about, saying what, I don't believe your feelings are true, but this is what I believe of your feelings. When it comes down to that, that's what it comes from. It's the same thing with I don't want to bring this up again, but the third wheel concept. If I'm going to take the time to call somebody and tell them and they don't believe me, what kind of heartache do you think I'm going to have? Nothing? It's the worst heartache, because it's I spent the time to call you and tell you how I feel, and nothing. Well, I don't believe you, Marcello. You wouldn't have put me in that position. The whole concept of years and years gone by. Kind of have to tell me those things, Because, no, literally. You would definitely have to say it without getting upset. And you would have to say it not constantly. But you have to tell me to the point where you would say, I can't spend any more time with you. Because this is how I feel about the situation, and I'm not going to be in it. But it's not about being an adult about it even. It's about looking at yourself and saying, am I happy with what I have? Are you? Can't ask me. Because I wouldn't control that. I wouldn't be any bossiness of that. I'd be the great equalizer. But that's already here in the YouTube and all these other things, all these social networks and everything online. And everything in color, in full color when we're with each other, talking to each other in full form of communication directly in front of each other. Not through a text message or anything else. It's the same thing I spoke about today with Maribel and Nancy at my break. I told them, I love talking, directly, face to face. And a lot of people say it's just a phase. I don't want somebody for just a phase. I want somebody till I'm old age. And when I hear a phase, I run away. I'm scared of that. What can I say? I'm scared of not having a friendship last even. What do you think? Oh, it's just a phase. Oh, well, this is wonderful. Bye-bye. Woo. It's not even about losing somebody. It's about losing what you built. It's the truth, And if it was built one-sided, I totally understand. But then they shouldn't be bothered at all by you leaving. In no way. They shouldn't be. You could judge it any way you want, but the fact is, they gave that opportunity to speak to you. In any point of my service, or their service to me. But if you're doing something indirectly, or if you're trying to do something indirectly and it fails, which some people have tried, and they failed, and the battling old age thing. It is like battling old age, There's no pension and there's no pay right now, because a lot of people got fired when they're older. Yet people say they have to work at an older age, the retirement age is getting older. But how can you retire when you're older when you get fired from jobs because you're old? Doesn't make sense. No pension, no pay. So we live longer so we can't pay for our lives, no pension. And we can't work hard, or we can't work to an old age because we get fired from jobs. There's nothing that could not be a trap in that. There's nothing that cannot be a trap in that. That is a trap. It's set pretty full color. A lot of people say oh, it's not on purpose. Everything's on purpose. Our government set up itself on purpose. If you don't think the rest of the story is Shangri-La, it's been Shangri-La. This is death economy. This isn't life economy. This is if you're worth more when you're dead, how much can you say about this not being a setup? This not being set up like puppet masters at work? Tell me that. If our lives aren't worth a scrap of sheet metal, then how can you tell me with full frontal color that our lives matter? Yes, our lives matter to us. We make them matter. But unless somebody else does too, that's in power above us, because we grew up in this system. We didn't have any choice. We didn't create the money that we use. It was put in front of us right when we started. So how can we even say we have any say in the concepts of our country when we didn't create a single thing in our lifetime that made it what it is? I'm just an ant in an ant farm. But I see the true colors. It's just the real answer. There is a way to change things, but it doesn't come from trusting other people. It doesn't come from trusting people who grew up in the same banks that are corrupted and have hurt us in our lifetimes and lifetimes before us. It's not trusting people and saying, we forgive you. It's about voting for yourself. I would say that. I wish everybody would send a vote out for themselves only when the election comes. That would be the best. Because it would show a sign. It would say, I don't feel represented for, so the only person I can vote for is me. And it might show a lot of people may say, oh, those people have egos. It's not about egos. If you don't feel represented for, who else can you vote for? If it said none of the above, I'd vote for that. I'd go in there, none of the above, right there. Because I wouldn't feel represented for by all them. And I don't. Never have. I can agree on certain candid concepts, but that's it. Some things are they lock, stock, and barreled already, but not all of them. I certainly don't agree with the healthcare plan. And it's not because, not everybody deserves healthcare. No, because nobody can afford that much nowadays. You tell me about that, buddy. You tell somebody on the street has to pay $40 a month. You tell somebody in a low-income family to do that. You live in that kind of lifestyle and you tell them to do that. You won't. You just want to cry your tears out to help everybody. But you won't step out of your house to do it. I do think the health care system and everything needs to be fixed, but only individually. Not everything. HMOs, stuff like that, they need to be fixed individually. Don't just change the whole system to make the Kaiser Permanente. Fuck the Kaiser. That's what I say. I'm sorry, I don't care for it. I don't care for big pharmaceuticals. Not because, he wants something natural cure. No, I just don't care for the pharmaceutical cures. I'd rather take care of things on my own, even without the natural cures. I'll let my body do the work. Our systems need to fight off things. No matter if people say, well, they're weaker now because of everything that we put in ourselves. They would be weaker anyway. They'd be weaker anyway. I think our human systems are strong. But don't ask me. Go inside my body and find out. Turn into something in my bloodstream. White blood cell, red blood cell. Let's see if you could do it. Turn into the magic school bus. Go inside me. Check me out. I want to see if you're correct. I want to see if our defense systems don't work inside. I want to see. I want to see it with somebody who's had all the shots done in their lifetime, even as a baby. And I want to see it with people who haven't done any shots at all. I want to see it. Show it. Because I've seen a lot more where a lot of people got a lot more problems by taking the shots rather than not. So I tell you this right now. Old age and everything, the pheromone-centered concept of life. The battling old age thing, no pension, no pay. Get fired from jobs because you're too old. And the idea of bossiness and telling people your feelings. And saying, this is what I believe of your feelings. This is the bossiness I want to contend with. I can tell you this. You've decided your fate. The haste of your judgment of character and your power that you try to possess on others, it's only going to make you a failure. Just because nobody's told you off, and the people that have told you off, it made them look bad? Yeah, congratulations, it made them look bad. Because a lot of people get that high over things. Like if somebody gets angry with them, they love that. Because they'll use that against them the whole time. Oh, buddy, I got him. Yeah. I'm not the bad one now. But you are. Because you waited for that. Your bossiness and what you believe about somebody's feelings, you waited for that. You seized the moment. Oh, yeah. That's not instincts. That's power struggle to the maximum. I tell you this in 2 fractions of a second. You decided the end of a friendship when you did that. You decided the end of a relationship when you did that. Because when did I ever wait for any second to throw anything at your face? Never. But when did I make sure that you did something and I said bye-bye and you didn't leave it alone? You didn't leave it alone. I'm 26. I don't want bossiness. I'm 26. I don't want bossiness. I don't want somebody to tell me this is what I believe your feelings are. Not because you can't. I'd like you to. But the only way I'd let you is if you don't shut me off when I'm telling you my feelings. Because if you can take it, what you believe about my feelings, then you can take a little unknown and find out what I really feel. And find out what I really want to tell you. Don't be afraid. Old age. I know you guys hate it, but it's going to happen to me too. No pension, no pay, and maybe no job to look forward to. I'll get fired. That's why I tell you right now, with pure instinct, guys, go with your passion. Never settle for revenge or bullying for the love of your work. Never. Because no matter what you have your passion for, you can do to your old age. But what you are going to use as a flare, as a signal to get revenge or bullying, is just a phase, and it won't last, and you'll get tired of it. So don't do that. You may have to take certain jobs, odd jobs on the side, but that's different. That's not about using revenge and bullying, but never use that, even in those jobs. Get past that. That aggressive attitude won't ever fix your life. In fact, it'll make you snail bait when you're 50 or 60 and you will be kicked out of your job and never trusted again. Let's see if you can find a job then. You probably will. But it probably won't be anything you want to do. Oh, well, that was the same things I had for the last 50 years. It doesn't change it now. Every single moment that you have in life, never make it seem like the last moment. Never make it seem like the things that you had before. Because once you do that, you're going to ignore anything new. Decide for yourself, or else, fuck you.